Roberto Contreres as Emilio Rebenga. Roberto Contreres was born on December 12, 1928 in St. Louis, Missouri, into a family of artists. He is the son of director Jaime Contreras. He was 55 when he appeared in Scarface in 1983 and played Emilio Rebenga, a man assassinated by Tony Montana in the opening scene of the film, setting the tone for Tony's cold brutality from the start. Despite his brief appearance, Rebenga's gruesome end haunted viewers and added to the dark, violent atmosphere of the film. Off-screen, Roberto Contreras' life was a long line of tragedy. He made his mark with supporting roles in films like The Big Fix and Black Samurai, but for nearly 40 years in the industry, he was stuck in supporting roles, unable to escape the shadows of obscurity. Tormented by unfulfilled professional expectations, Contreras turned to alcohol as a temporary escape, only to sink deeper into depression. Both of his marriages ended in divorce, leaving him with scars that never healed. He became increasingly distant from his children, including Luis Contreras, his son who followed him into acting. Roberto Contreras later spent time in and out of rehab, battling his inner demons but never truly finding salvation. Roberto Contreras died on July 18, 2000 in Los Angeles, California, at the age of 71. He left behind a modest career with an estimated net worth of only $200,000. Robert Loia as Frank Lopez. Robert Loia was born on January 3, 1930 in Staten Island, New York. When he appeared in Scarface in 1983, he was 53 years old, playing Frank Lopez, a powerful drug lord and rival of Tony Montana, appearing in several key scenes, especially intense confrontations with Al Pacino's character. The role of Frank Lopez left a lasting impression on audiences, adding weight to a film that is now considered a Hollywood classic. Over a career spanning more than 6 decades, Robert Loia has appeared in a wide range of acclaimed films and television series, from An Officer and a Gentleman in Jagged Edge to Big and Independence Day. He is highly regarded for his versatility and ability to portray both villains and heroes. Behind the scenes, however, his private life was not smooth sailing. His first marriage to Della Marjorie Sloan lasted from 1954 to 1981, nearly 3 decades together, but ended in heartbreak. The marriage was tumultuous, as Loja's career fluctuated, with frequent business trips, the pressure of work and fame gradually creating a distance between them. Although they had 3 children together, the cracks in their relationship eventually became irreparable. After the divorce, Loja's personal life entered a lonely, uncertain chapter. It was during this difficult period that he met Audrey O'Brien, the woman who helped him through his midlife crisis and lifted his spirits. Audrey was not only his emotional support but also his devoted companion, helping him regain his confidence after many years of ups and downs in his career. They married in 1982, just a year after his divorce, and remained together for more than 3 decades, until the end of their lives. Loia often spoke of Audrey with deep gratitude in interviews, describing their relationship as his safe haven. In his final years, Loia faced numerous difficulties after being diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease in 2010. The fatal disease gradually robbed him of his memory, clarity, and the pride he had built up over decades in front of the camera. Once a strong, determined man, Loia became increasingly withdrawn, avoiding the spotlight as his physical and mental health deteriorated. Audrey was always by his side, caring for him with unwavering devotion, becoming his rock when the light of fame had long since faded. Robert Loia passed away on December 4, 2015, at his home in Brentwood, Los Angeles, from complications related to Alzheimer's disease. He was 85. His net worth at the time of his death was estimated at $10 million, the result of more than 60 years of dedication to the arts. Harris Ulan as Mel Bernstein. Harris Ulan was born on November 5, 1937 in Los Angeles. When he appeared in Scarface in 1983, he was 46 years old and played Mel Bernstein, a corrupt cop who tries to blackmail Tony Montana, and appeared in key scenes that highlighted the tense conflict between them. His role helped to portray the intrigue and brutal underworld that Scarface brought to life, leaving a deep impression on movie audiences. Throughout his career, Ulan has been a familiar face with more than 100 roles on stage, television, and film. He has conquered audiences with diverse performances in Ghostbusters 2, Clear and Present Danger, Training Day, and the Ozark series. His personal life also had its ups and downs. He was in a high-profile relationship with Faye Dunaway, which ended in turmoil after just a year together. In 1975, he married actress Gwen Wells, who was by his side for nearly 2 decades until her death from cancer in 1993, leaving Ulan deeply saddened and with a void that has been difficult to fill. In the years since his tragic loss, Ulan found companionship and understanding with actress Kristen Lohman, and they married in 2005. However, his relationship with his stepdaughter, Claire Lucido, was not always smooth, and her death in 2021 deepened Ulan's quiet, withdrawn nature. He faced periods of depression and isolation, especially as his steady and admirable career had yet to reach the heights he had dreamed of. Harris Ulan died of heart failure in New York City on June 10, 2025, at the age of 87. His net worth at the time of his death was estimated at $4 million, but his legacy goes far beyond material value. John Carter as Vic Phillips. John Carter was born on November 26, 1927 in Center Ridge, Arkansas. He was 56 years old when he appeared in Scarface in 1983 and played Vic Phillips, a cold and sharp criminal executive who appeared in a few brief scenes but helped to portray the brutal underworld depicted in the film. Despite his supporting role, Carter left a lasting impression with his calm performance and powerful presence. After Scarface and films like Badlands and The Hoax, Carter's life was plagued by personal grief that never fully healed. His greatest tragedy was the death of his son from a drug overdose, a shock that sent him into a deep depression. With no way out, Carter turned more and more to alcohol, using it to numb the pain but ultimately allowing it to destroy what remained of his personal life. 2 marriages he had once trusted ended in divorce, leaving scars that never healed. His relationship with his surviving children grew increasingly distant as he struggled to maintain his role as a father while drowning in his own storm. Despite his many years of dedication to the arts, with numerous supporting roles in film and television, Carter remained forever removed from the success he had dreamed of. John Carter died on May 23, 2015, of pneumonia at the age of 87. He passed away quietly and alone, leaving behind a modest career and an estimated net worth of $400,000, a figure that reflects the life of a dedicated artist forever overshadowed by personal tragedy. Richard Belzer as the Babylon Club MC. Richard Belzer was born on August 4, 1944, in Bridgeport, Connecticut. He was 39 when he appeared in Scarface in 1983, and played the Babylon Club MC, a small but memorable role that brought energy and a subtle irony to the film's wild party scenes. Despite his brief appearance, Belzer left an impression with his signature sense of humor and charm, adding a unique color to the dark criminal world of Scarface. In addition to the halo and resounding success as John Munch in the Law & Order series, Belzer's life was tragic. As a young man, he suffered the pain of losing his sister in a car accident, a pain that haunted him throughout his life and filled his soul with a sadness that never went away. His first marriage, to Gail Susan Ross, from 1966 to 1972, initially seemed happy but ended in arguments and deep hurt, leaving Belzer with a loss of faith and a lingering loneliness. In the early years of his career, despite his sharp wit and promise as a comedian, Belzer struggled with the darkness of substance abuse, seeking escape in drink and temptation. Depression crept in, pulling him further from the spotlight as he retreated into a private grief that only he could understand. Every successful role, every laugh he brought to the audience was another attempt to hide the emotional scars that never healed. Richard Belzer died on February 19, 2023 in Beausoul, France, from complications of respiratory disease. He was 78. His net worth at the time of his death was estimated at $16 million, a reward for a solid career in Law & Order, comedy, and his highly personal books. Paul Shaar as Alejandro Sosa, Albert. Paul Shaar was born on February 12, 1936, in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. He was 47 years old when he appeared in Scarface in 1983, playing Alejandro Sosa, a cold, powerful Colombian drug lord and calculating villain, appearing in key scenes involving tense dealings and escalating conflicts with Tony Montana. Shaar's performance as Sosa was memorable, with his calm, ruthless and cunning demeanor playing a major role in the film's impact. Before reaching the heights of his fame with Scarface, Paul Shaar was already a respected figure on stage and television. He was one of the founding members of the American Conservatory Theater, ACT, where he lived out his passion through over 40 classic roles. During her illustrious career, Shaar also had a deep and meaningful relationship with actor Jeremy Brett. Their relationship lasted from 1973 to 1978, leaving Shaar with lasting memories, even as they eventually went their separate ways. The two remained bonded by friendship and mutual respect until Shaar's final days. But behind the bright lights and the bright screens, Paul Shaar quietly struggled with his inner self. Despite his intelligence and talent, he lived under the weight of social prejudice at the time, especially as a member of the LGBT community. He never married or had children, devoting his heart to art. After Scarface, he continued to have impressive roles, but deep inside, Shaar felt increasingly lonely and lost in the fame he had built. In 1983, at the height of his career, fate dealt him a bitter blow. Paul Shaar was diagnosed with HIV/AIDS. He died on October 11, 1989, at the age of 53. His ashes were given to his close friend Thomas Wiley, a testament to the strong bond between the two men who spent the last days of Shaar's life together. His net worth at the time was estimated at $2 million. Ángel Salazar's real name is Chichi. Ángel Salazar was born on March 2, 1956 in Cuba. He was 27 when he appeared in Scarface in 1983, playing Chichi, Tony Montana's loyal friend who brought a touch of humor to the film's dark world, especially in the terrifying chainsaw scene and the bloody final battle at Tony's mansion. This role made Salazar a familiar face to Scarface fans. Salazar's life, like his character Chichi, has been a roller coaster. As a teenager, He escaped Cuba by swimming to Guantanamo Bay Naval Base, starting from scratch in New York. From amateur comedy shows, where his catchphrase, "Check it out," became famous, he gradually made a name for himself in the entertainment industry. After Scarface, Salazar appeared in Punchline, 1988, Carlitos Way, 1993, HBO Comedy Specials, 1993, and Last Comic Standing. Yet, despite his talent and stage charisma, he never truly escaped Chi-Chi's shadow or reached the heights of fame he once dreamed of. Behind the scenes, Salazar faced equally dark personal tragedies. He fell into addiction, particularly cocaine, which ruined both his career and his personal life. Failed relationships, mounting debt, and financial instability kept him from having a stable life, although he continued to perform stand-up comedy until the end of his life. His final performance at the Laugh Factory in Reno, Nevada, in July 2024, just a month before his death, was a testament to his enduring love for the craft, despite the hardships. Angel Salazar died on August 11, 2024, at a friend's home in Brooklyn, at the age of 68. His death was determined to be due to acute drug toxicity from a combination of cocaine, cyclobenzaprine, and diphenhydramine, along with underlying hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. His net worth at the time of his death was estimated at $1 million, much of which had been decimated by years of financial struggles. Victor Campos, as Ronnie Echevarria. Victor Campos was born on January 15, 1935 in New York City. When he appeared in Scarface in 1983, he was 48 years old and played Ronnie Echevarria, a loyal ally in Tony Montana's gang, appearing in scenes involving criminal activity and undercover dealings. Despite his supporting role, Ronnie Echevarria did a great job of portraying the dark and ruthless world of crime that Scarface depicts. Off-screen, Victor Campos's life was marked by quiet pain and tragedy. Despite a promising start as Rudy DeVillo in Cades County, his career faded into obscurity, with supporting roles in The A-Team, Murder, She Wrote, and a few lesser-known films. Campos struggled with alcohol and drug addiction for years, which not only destroyed his health but also his family. His only marriage fell apart, leaving him with a fractured relationship with his two children, whom he loved dearly but could not fully father. In his final years, Campos faced profound loneliness as he battled prostate cancer, a battle that drained him both physically and emotionally. Once a strong boxer, he had to quietly accept the silent destruction of the disease. His dreams of a brilliant career and a complete family gradually ended in regret and loneliness. Victor Campos passed away on December 4, 2018, in Sherman Oaks, California, at the age of 83. He passed away quietly, leaving behind a modest legacy with an estimated net worth of around $300,000, a figure that reflects the life of an artist who worked hard but achieved little glory, forever struggling with internal battles that were never truly healed. Mario Machado as the interviewer. Mario Machado was born on April 22, 1935, in Shanghai, China. He was 48 when he appeared in Scarface in 1983, and he played the interviewer, a small but subtle role that provided a rare moment of calm amid the film's chaotic criminal world. Amidst the gunfire and bloody intrigue, Machado's calm interviewer provided the audience with a brief moment of calm before the storm of violence resumed. Off-screen, Mario Machado's life has been a roller coaster. Though he gained recognition for his role as Casey Wong in RoboCop and a cameo in Rocky III, his career has largely been overshadowed by small roles, never really establishing himself as an actor. The unnamed pressures of unstable work and the harsh realities of the entertainment industry have spilled over into his personal life, contributing to the breakdown of two marriages he once trusted. After those separations, Machado gradually distanced himself from his children, whom he had dreamed of giving a full and happy life to, but could not be close to. That emptiness was even heavier when he had to fight severe pneumonia in the last years of his life. With his health failing and the spotlight fading, Machado spent his final days alone, filled with regret for a journey that could have been more brilliant. Mario Machado died on May 4, 2013, in West Hills, California, at the age of 78. His net worth was estimated at $1 million, largely due to his radio career and quiet, consistent performances that left a mark on his admirers as a symbol of perseverance and dedication. John Brandon as Immigration Officer Number 3. John Brandon was born on June 21, 1929 in Rego Park, New York. He was 54 when he appeared in Scarface in 1983, playing Immigration Officer Number 3, a small role in the opening scene where he is stern and represents the cold, unforgiving power of the U.S. Immigration Agency in the face of a wave of Cuban refugees, including Tony Montana. Though only briefly on screen, Brandon's performance helps create the tense, fateful atmosphere of the film's opening moments. In addition to Scarface, John Brandon appeared in films such as Serpico and The Brink's Job, as well as many other popular television series. But behind these roles was a life filled with turmoil and loneliness. Brandon went through several failed marriages, each of which eroded his faith in love and distanced him further from the children he once cherished. As his family relationship unraveled, he retreated into isolation, as the spotlight that had once shone on him faded. As he grew older, Brandon struggled financially. Despite decades of dedication to the arts, his supporting roles never provided the steady income he needed. Depression weighed heavily on him as his career never achieved the recognition he had hoped for. His failing health, coupled with undisclosed complications, further exhausted him, forcing him to spend his final years on the sidelines of Hollywood, consumed by regret and lingering sadness. John Brandon died on August 25, 2014, in Middle Village, New York, at the age of 85. His net worth at the time was estimated at $200,000, a modest sum for a life devoted to acting. Al Israel as Hector the Toad. Al Israel was born on April 16, 1935 in the United States. When he appeared in Scarface in 1983, he was 48 years old and played Hector the Toad, the ruthless Colombian criminal behind the infamous chainsaw scene that still sends shivers down audiences' spines to this day. Despite his brief screen time, Israel's portrayal of Hector the Toad left a lasting impression, becoming one of the film's most memorable images. After Scarface, Al Israel appeared in a few other films, such as Carlito's Way and Dangerous Minds, but his career was largely limited to small, unnoticed supporting roles. Away from the limelight, his personal life was also full of hardships. His only marriage collapsed after years of strain, leaving Israel to shoulder the burden of being a single father. The financial burden, combined with the pressures of raising children, made it difficult for him to maintain stability, as his career never brought the security he had hoped for. In his later years, Al Israel faced serious health problems that he never discussed publicly, but which silently robbed him of his freedom and joy. He lived in increasing loneliness, increasingly distant from the short-lived fame he had enjoyed. All his efforts in the industry could not assuage his regret that he had never achieved the personal happiness or career heights he had longed for. Al Israel passed away on March 16, 2011, at the age of 75. His net worth at the time of his death was estimated at $500,000, reflecting a modest career forged by perseverance through many challenges. Miriam Colon as Mama Montana. Miriam Colon was born on August 20, 1936 in Ponce, Puerto Rico. She was 47 when she appeared in Scarface in 1983, playing Mama Montana, a loving mother tormented by the path of crime her son, Tony Montana, has chosen. Every time Mama Montana appeared on screen, she left a lasting impression, embodying both the compassion and the moral conscience that Tony no longer possessed. Behind her powerful and successful performances on stage and screen, Colon's life was filled with quiet sadness. Her first marriage to George Paul Edgar, which lasted from 1966 to 1976, seemed to promise happiness, but ended in heartbreaking loss when Edgar died after a long illness. His death left Colon in a lonely state, struggling with isolation even as her career took off. At the time, even as she enjoyed success with projects like One Life to Live, she found herself going home each night to a silent battle. In 1987, hoping to find peace, Colon remarried, this time to Fred Valle, but even that marriage did not bring complete happiness. Irreconcilable differences, combined with the pressures of work and the burden of past emotional traumas, strained their relationship. She immersed herself in the arts, building a reputation through roles in the House of the Spirits and on Broadway. But behind the applause was a lingering loneliness. Her emotional pain was compounded by the loss of a family member to illness, a tragedy she rarely shared publicly, but which left a void in her heart that was difficult to fill. These losses, combined with the persistent stress in her personal life, meant that no matter how successful she became, she never found true peace. She went through a period of despair when the spotlight was turned off, and she found herself alone in a room filled with mementos from her glorious past. Miriam Colon died on March 3, 2017 in New York City from complications from a lung infection. She was 80 years old. Her net worth at the time of her death was estimated at $5 million, but her most valuable legacy was a life devoted to art. Mark Margolus, known professionally as Alberto the Shadow. Mark Margolus was born on November 26, 1939 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He was 44 when he appeared in Scarface in 1983, playing Alberto the Shadow, a silent, cold-blooded, powerful assassin working for Alejandro Sosa, with intense action scenes, including the iconic assassination attempt that Tony Montana foiled at the last minute. Although he had few lines, Margolis's deadly gaze and menacing presence were unforgettable. Behind a career marked by stellar performances in Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, and Darren Aronofsky films like Requiem for a Dream, Margolis' life was far from easy. He married Jacqueline Margolus in 1962, a marriage that was solid but challenging, especially in the early years when both struggled financially. They lived in shabby New York apartments, struggling to pay the rent on small roles Margolus was given in off-Broadway productions. The worries didn't stop there. Their only son, Morgan Margolus, endured a tumultuous childhood, including a period of drug addiction, which put immense pressure on the family. Margolus found himself trying to hold on to a failing career while also being a crutch for his loved ones through these storms. He endured years of depression and felt forgotten by Hollywood, especially as his acting opportunities dwindled, until his role as Hector Salamanca on Breaking Bad revived his fame and passion for acting. Even as his career was resurrected and he was honored with Emmy nominations and fan love, Margolus bore deep scars from the countless trials he faced. He died on August 3, 2023, at Mount Sinai Hospital in New York City after a short illness, at the age of 83. His net worth at the time of his death was estimated at $2.5 million, a modest figure given the breadth of his career.